Everybody wants to become rich fast until they realize how long real wealth actually takes. You open YouTube and see some 22-year-old guy standing in front of a Lamborghini talking about, "I made my first million in 14 months. Quit your job. Copy this side hustle. Turn $500 into financial freedom." And for a few minutes, it messes with your head. Because you're working, you're trying, you pay your bills, maybe you even save a little money every month, but somehow your bank account still feels stuck in survival mode. So eventually, you start asking yourself a dangerous question. Am I already too late? But here's what nobody tells you. Most people online are lying about the speed, and most traditional financial advice lies about the timeline. So you go looking for real answers, and the internet gives you two options. Option 1, some get-rich-quick scheme involving crypto, day trading, or drop shipping. Option 2, some boring advisor telling you to just invest for 40 years and you'll be fine at 65. Neither answer feels realistic, because deep down, most people don't want a private jet tomorrow. They just want breathing room, options, freedom, a life where money stops being a constant source of stress. And the truth is, you can completely change your financial situation in 5 years. Not by gambling, not by getting lucky, not by finding some magical crypto coin at 2 a.m., but by understanding how wealth actually works in the real world. And in this video, I want to show you the strategy that quietly changes people's lives financially without looking flashy on social media. Because real wealth is usually boring while it's being built. My name is Chris, and if you're serious about improving your finances, subscribe to the channel and let's get into it. First, I need to tell you something that most personal finance content won't say clearly enough. Saving money alone will not build wealth. Now, before you click off, I'm not saying don't save. Saving is essential, but if saving is your only strategy, here's the math that shows why it falls short. Let's say you're disciplined. You save $400 a month, which, by the way, puts you ahead of a huge portion of the population. Over 5 years, that's $24,000. Even if you invested at a solid 8% annual return, you're looking at roughly $28,000 to $29,000 at the end of those 5 years. That's not nothing, but is it life-changing? Honestly, no. And here's the part that stings. The problem isn't your discipline. The problem is your engine. Think about it this way. Imagine two cars. One has a 1-liter engine, one has a 3-liter engine. You can be the most skilled driver in the world, smoothest turns, perfect lane changes, but if your engine is small, the car is slow. Period. Your income is your engine, and early in your financial journey, nothing matters more than engine size. When your income grows, everything gets easier at the same time. You save more, you invest more, debt shrinks faster, the whole game accelerates. But if the engine stays small, you're optimizing around a fundamental limitation. This is the insight that separates people who build wealth in 5 years from people who look back and wonder why nothing changed. So, step 1 is the one most people skip because it feels vague. Grow your income. I know, you've heard it, but stay with me, because most people dramatically underestimate how much your income can change in 5 years. 5 years is enough time to learn a high-value skill from scratch, to get promoted twice, to negotiate your way into a completely different salary bracket, to build a side business from zero to something real. Let me show you the math on what income growth actually does. Take two people, both starting in the same place. Person A earns $3,500 a month and saves 10%. That's $350 a month going to savings. Solid. Person B earns the same $3,500 at the start, but spends the first 2 years grinding on income growth. New skills, a job switch, a side hustle that picks up. By month 24, they're earning $5,500 a month. Same 10% savings rate, but now that's $550. Over 5 years, that income gap alone produces over $15,000 more in savings before we even factor in returns. And the gap doesn't stay the same. It grows, because as person B's income keeps climbing, the compound difference grows. Meanwhile, person A is still saving $350 a month, wondering why progress is slow. So now, here's what I want you to actually do with this. Pick one income lever to focus on in the next 90 days. just one. It could be learning a high-value skill that commands higher pay, coding, sales, copywriting, data analysis. It could be researching what your role pays at other companies and having that conversation with your employer. Research consistently shows that people who change jobs see salary increases significantly larger than those who stay and wait for annual reviews. It could be starting something on the side, freelancing, consulting, creating content, selling a service. The point isn't to do it all at once. The point is to treat your income as something you're actively building, not just receiving.
Here's where it gets tricky, though, because a lot of people do increase their income. Their salary goes up, the side hustle starts paying, and then nothing changes. Still living paycheck to paycheck, still not investing, still no real savings to show for it. What happened? Lifestyle inflation. Every raise got absorbed by a nicer apartment, a car upgrade, more subscriptions, better restaurants. The income grew, but so did everything else. The gap between earning and keeping never actually widened. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. Your brain is wired to adjust to improvements incredibly fast. That raise feels incredible for about 6 weeks. Then it just becomes normal. And then your brain starts eyeing the next upgrade. It's not a character flaw. It's literally how human brains are built. But if you don't have a system to catch it, it will silently eat every financial win you ever have. Which brings us to step 2. Protect every income increase before you can spend it. Here's the rule I want you to use. It's simple, and it works. Every time your income goes up, whether it's a raise, a bonus, or a side hustle payment, automatically direct at least half of the increase straight to savings or investments the day it hits. Automated, non-negotiable. The remaining $300 is yours to enjoy however you want. This does 2 things. First, it locks in your financial progress, so the raise actually moves you forward. Second, it still gives you room to enjoy the win, which matters, because deprivation isn't sustainable either. The goal isn't to live like a monk. The goal is to make sure you're always capturing a percentage of your growth, and that percentage is always building. Once you've got a savings rate locked in, those dollars need a job. Keeping money in a savings account is safe, but it's not wealth building. Over time, inflation quietly erodes purchasing power. You need your money growing faster than inflation. And historically, long-term investing in broad market index funds has been one of the most reliable ways to do that. The S&P 500, which tracks 500 of the largest U.S. companies, has averaged roughly 10% annual returns over the past century. Some years are brutal, some years are incredible, but over 10, 15, 20-year periods, the direction has consistently been up. Here's what that looks like over 5 years with real numbers. Suppose after building your income and controlling lifestyle inflation, you're investing $800 a month consistently. Over 5 years, that's $48,000 contributed. With average market returns, that grows to somewhere in the range of $57,000 to $60,000. Good. But here's what I really want you to see. The first 5 years aren't really about the number at the end. They're about the habit, the system, and the momentum you're building. Because once you hit 5 years with a growing income, a locked savings rate, and $50K plus already invested, the next 5 years look completely different. The math accelerates, the compounding kicks in harder. What felt slow starts to feel fast. That's the real payoff of the first 5 years. Not just the money, but the foundation. Let me tell you about someone I know. Early 20s, decent job, but savings were basically zero, debt was real, and every month felt like treading water. He wasn't irresponsible, he just had no structure and no real strategy. At some point, he made a decision. For the next 5 years, he would focus on exactly 3 things: growing his income, avoiding lifestyle creep, and investing whatever he saved, consistently every single month. No crypto moonshots, no day trading, no get-rich schemes. Just those 3 things repeated. 2 years in, nothing felt dramatic, but his income was up. His investments were growing quietly. He hadn't touched the system. 5 years later, his invested portfolio was sitting above $85,000. His income had nearly doubled, and more importantly, he had momentum. The kind where you realize the next 5 years are going to be completely different from the last 5. That's what 5 years of the right strategy looks like. Not a lottery win, not a viral moment, Just compounding discipline, showing up, adjusting, and not quitting. Let's put it all together. Step 1. Grow your income. Your earning ability is your most powerful financial asset in the next 5 years. Treat it like one. Learn, negotiate, build. Step 2. Lock in your savings rate. Every time income grows, capture at least half automatically. Don't let lifestyle inflation steal your progress. Step 3. Invest consistently. Get your money into long-term assets that grow. Index funds, retirement accounts. Let compound interest do its job over time. Step 4. Stay in the game for the full 5 years. This is the one people underestimate most. Wealth isn't built in one brilliant move. It's built in hundreds of ordinary decisions made consistently over time. Here's the thing I want to leave you with. 5 years from today is going to arrive. That's guaranteed. The only variable is what your financial life looks like when it gets here. Will you still be in the same spot? Same frustration? Same paycheck-to-paycheck cycle? Same feeling that wealth is for other people? Or will you have built something? A growing income? A savings rate that works automatically? Investments compounding quietly in the background? Real momentum? The gap between those two outcomes isn't luck. It's not connections. It's not a secret strategy. It's choosing a direction and giving it enough time to work. So here's my question for you. Where do you want to be financially 5 years from today? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and sometimes just writing it down is the first real step. If this video gave you something useful, hit the like button. It genuinely helps more people find this. Subscribe if you haven't already. And the next video is already waiting for you. We're going deep on exactly how to increase your income in the next 90 days. Practical, real, no fluff. I'm Chris. I'll catch you in the next one.